Greetings, mortals, and welcome to another video from the Demon Overlord. Today we will discuss a terror of the deep. And as I stated, it is I, the Demon Overlord. I'm coming at you with another video today, guys. As you can see here, I have a dragonborn on a boat and one of the little cultists here sitting on a bridge, and they're just going to be for scale detail. So first up here, size of miniatures. What is the most amazing miniature I've ever seen is this newest gem to my collection, and today we're going to go over it. But first, before that, we're going to go over some sizing. We have medium characters here. We have a dinosaur here, a large class, so a smaller dinosaur, but still a dinosaur. Going up from there, we actually have something in the huge category, a treant. Something people always go, oh, look at that huge creature on the board. And then from there, we can go to something legendary, such as the Empyrean. These large guys are terrifying to many people because they can basically mess with the elements and they're like the children of gods. So, an epic monster all in the same. From there, we get to the gargantuan creatures. These are the creatures that literally are terrifying to all players, since we have dragons that are gargantuan and other such foes that would terrify and make you wet yourself maybe in fear. One of them, we actually have here, a Titan that is one that was 3D printed. It is the Tarrasque. And as I can say, this is a WizKids miniature here and here. This one is actually a Reaper Bones, but I do love this little metal dinosaur. Worked out really great. And right here we have a 3D printed Tarrasque. Now obviously this is not an official WizKids or anything like that. This is a 3D printed from someone on eBay, if you've seen any of my older videos. Also check out my older videos, guys, if you want to know where any of these minis are in retrospect. And next up, we're going to bring up the other gargantuan creature I was going to show here. A gargantuan red dragon. And as you can see, a huge creature all the same. Next to these small, medium miniatures here, a terrifying force to be thrown on the board. When they are, your players basically better prepare for the end because these things are terrifying in power. And I mean, the Tarrasque himself is terrifying. But what is also a Titan and terrifying like the Tarrasque? That's right, I'm talking about the Kraken. And for our first example of a Kraken here, that I will be using for size checking, is a Kraken that is belonging to my sister and fellow member in our podcast. It is a Reaper Bones Kraken, and as you can see, very large and terrifying. It is definitely gargantuan, all the same as the other minis, and very much bigger than the others. With its large tentacles stuff, it only competes with the dragon due to its wings, but still, a huge mini not to be missed. Now we're going to move him over here, because here comes the miniature you've all been waiting for. An epic mini, if you can get your hands on one. Definitely worth it. Here you go. Let me make some quick room. That's right, even the Tarrasque must move in terror of this gargantuanous monster. And here it is, the gargantuanly gigantic, colossal plus Kraken miniature. Now you might be thinking, holy crap, where did he get this miniature from? I actually found it on eBay for sale somewhat, and it is from Dungeon Crawl, which they do make miniatures for D&D, and they have pretty good miniatures on their site. They are all a Kickstarter program, as you've probably guessed if you've seen them or already know of them, where you back certain things. And this was actually something I did not back. I didn't even know it existed until I was looking on eBay one day and thought, I'll throw in gargantuan miniatures. This popped up on there in the search. And its sculpt wowed me. As you can see, look at the sculpture on this bad boy. Look at these deadly spikes. This beautiful fin tail on the back. Now, obviously, it could be a little bit bigger if you were going for true scaling, but honestly, it looks amazing. We even have hard armor carapace here. And that's what's really cool, this nice colored carapace. These beautifully, really highly detailed arms. Sorry, tentacles. These are truly arms here. This is the feeding tentacle. We have one. Now, I did know that when on the Dungeon Crawl site, it did show that they did sell the arms. If you backed it high enough, you would get multiple arms to put on the board, which unfortunately, as I did not back, I don't get those. So I'd have to look online for someone selling a bunch of those or anything like that. But you could probably use any other arm as a fill-in, even like Kraken arms from the true WizKids. Now, I love that this thing is fully based
It is fully colored. I didn't have to do any painting on it. I don't even think I'd want to because it looks so great as it is. I love these details. Like, look at these nice little spicatures down the back that are blended color. And like, look at the underside of this thing's head. The underside is so well detailed. Now, if we compare it here to the actual Kraken miniature, which let me move these lesser minis out of the way. I shouldn't say that because the dragon's awesome, but there we go. We're going to do a quick comparison. As you can see, both of these Kraken are terrifying to be coming across in the water for this poor miniature guy here. And this Kraken priest over here would have a dilemma of who to worship. Well, he's obviously going to worship the bigger one, since that one is bigger and more powerful. And as Kraken lore goes, this Kraken could be actually the servant to the larger Kraken, since they actually do like to subjugate each other. It's just very difficult. Or reproduce if they're doing that as well. But I like the Reaper's direction. I love these Krakens that are in the direction of a giant squid as to keep with like the lore of the Kraken legend. Very epic though. This miniature is just truly a marvel. Look at like the front profile of this thing. Its eyes are giant, and if you can see here in the mouth, it is a maw full of sharp, dagger-like teeth coming together. And that's what makes it look so epic. And these nice giant eyes with the little light dots like you kind of see in animated shows for creatures gives it a more personable look, a more personality. And I love all the spiking on the tentacles. It's so really well put together. I mean, like, honestly, for a Kickstarter, they basically blew this out of the park. Anyone who got this in the mail the next day would probably be going, I've hit the mother load. This is one of the biggest miniatures I've ever seen. I mean, it's so big. If we look at the underside here, it's an interesting design with this like a sort of a crossboard or what I want to say, dartboard style look to it, or target pattern. And it even is a labeled miniature. It does say Kraken. It does say Kraken right there at the bottom. It is a 2013 product. It is the gifted version, I think is what this was called. But notice how it actually is screwed on there. It actually needs screws to help hold it in this base. And by holding it, it's so big that me holding it one-handed, I worry I could drop it because it's just so heavy. It's so heavy, so massive. It definitely falls into the Gargantuan or the Colossal Plus. Definitely Colossal Plus. It's not even argued. It's an 8x8. It's just terrifying. I can imagine putting this on the board and causing your players to literally die of fear, knowing that they're going to fight something this terrifying and it's just going to be the end of them. It would just be such an epic miniature for your collection. So if you can find one of these, I would definitely recommend buying it. I got this thing for around like $63 after all the said and done, which honestly to me, totally worth it. That's like the price of a good premium mini. And this would be a great premium miniature in any set. This would be like just one of those epic things that's going to go down in history as something to get because it's just so well made. The plastic is nice and solid. There's no like real like super flexibility. Like we're not looking at something that's all floppy and like wobbling around. It's solid. Like I said, you can get, if you can find the other tentacles, I definitely would recommend it because it would just add to more of the presence. Now, I do know there are other versions of this. When I looked on the Kickstarter, there was the unpainted version, the unbased version, and then there was the based and unpainted version together where it's actually based for you. This one is the second to top tier. It is the blue pre-painted. I do know there was a green one, and the green one looked cool too, but I actually kind of liked the blue one more as to match the oceanic watercolor, so it would blend in as it comes up to surface and attack your party. This thing is just so amazing. I mean, if we look at the details here, these nice spikes, the nice, beautiful like skin texture. Let's see if we can get a nice up close to the skin texture. Yeah, look at that skin texture. It's textured all the way through. All the way. Nothing is untextured. Everything is great. And the great thing is this isn't even the full body since there's a bunch of it technically submerged. It is one of the most amazing miniatures I've ever seen. And honestly, like I said, this is a complete gem to my collection. This is one of the my favorite one of the favorite minis in the collection, up there with some of my greater dragons and stuff. This definitely right here blows the doors off the collection and opens it wide open to like the greatness. It's so epic. The only word for this thing is epic. You cannot say, oh, it's crap. This thing is epic and blows the doors off everything. Like, I couldn't think of anything in the campaign that a ship could take this thing on. This thing is so big. Even the D&D pirate ship they've created would not be able to defeat this. I feel it could grab it with its size and just pull it straight down. Like, it would just start sinking that thing Titanic style, one end going under, and it just keeps going. It would be an amazing fight for your party, an amazing ender creature, or possibly even a god to compete with your characters. Like, maybe they come to this thing, and the Kraken presets it up where it's the god that your party deals with in a certain area. It could be so useful in so many ways due to its size. Great detail. It's just an awe on the board. It's an amazing piece. It will awe your players, awe your friends, and it will awe your fellow collectors if you're trying to one-up them with something amazing. It will do all that. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for you here on the miniatures review. As you can see, this amazing epic mini. Great piece to my collection. Definitely do not regret grabbing him. Also, guys, check out our podcast for the Dice and Dummies, where I play the mighty Sabertooth Tabaxi Bardus. And if you want to get a hold of me for personal to the channel here, outside of YouTube, or if you want to get a hold of me about our podcast, if you happen to be a fan, I'm at 01 Berserker. And if you want to like and subscribe at the bottom, definitely would appreciate it. It will keep you more in tune for videos like this in the future. And if you want to be make sure that you're going to be notified, make sure to ring that bell. And that's all I got today, guys. Bye-bye, and stay tuned for another video in the future. See ya.